This is the Church of St. Paul in the Desert.
Hi, guys. I'm really glad to be with you here today. I'm going to tell you a story, but before I do that, you probably heard that we are talking about generosity, being transformed by generosity. Your Sunday school teachers told me last week you all talked about being generous and about generosity. Do you all remember did you decide what kinds of things you would do to be generous?
I decided to let other people have the things I have, like let them borrow it.
Okay, so let other people borrow the things you have, especially if they need them, don't have them. What about the other of you? Can you think of a time when you've been generous in your life?
I asked my dad if he could go to college, if we could go to college junior, and before we went there, I saw this homeless man, and me and my dad gave him a burger.
So you reached out to the homeless man and you gave him a burger. Okay, so in each of those experiences, you weren't just thinking about yourself. You were thinking about somebody else, and with your generosity, you changed those people for that time. Would you agree with me? Okay. Christoph, can you think of a time when you've experienced generosity? So you've also stopped and you had gift cards and you like for McDonald's or some other place for the homeless people? All right, so you guys are going to have to help me because this is a story and it's about a little girl, but you're going to have to help me imagine. So this is called Randy's Braids. And this is about a little girl who lives in Mexico with her mom. And they are poor. They don't have a lot of money and not a lot in their house. But at the beginning, the mother wakes her up. Actually, the rooster wakes her up, but mom comes in and helps her to wake up. And so she gets up, and mom helps her to get dressed. And one of the things she does each morning is combs her hair and braids her long, beautiful black hair into 2 braids. And then they go out and they make tortillas. Have any of you ever helped make tortillas? Have you, Christoph? Is that fun? And are they really tasty once you've made homemade ones? Yeah, they really are. And so she helped her mother, but while they're making the tortillas, they hear on a loudspeaker, hair, we will pay the best prices for your hair. Come to the barber shop tomorrow. What would that make you think?
Go to the barber shop because you can donate here and you can get money if you're poor.
Absolutely, you could donate your hair and exchange money if you were poor. That's it, exactly. Have you ever known a girl or a guy in your classes that have donated their hair? A lot of times now it's called Locks for Loves, and I've known several girls that gave their braids to help make wigs for children who are suffering from cancer, and they've lost their hair. So in this community, the women have very long, beautiful, thick black hair, and once in a while people come and they give them the opportunity to donate some of their hair. And the mother comments that Randy's hair is the longest and most beautiful, and they could get a fortune for her hair. And look at and mom only has this, her hair is not near as long. Now, if you were a Randy, how would you be feeling at this point?
Proud.
Proud? And how about a little bit scared? Would you want somebody to be cutting your hair off? What are you going to look like after they cut your hair off? Well, that bald might be one of the things, exactly. Do you think they're really going to take all of her hair? Yes? Okay, so let's see. So Mom and Randy sat down to have breakfast of their tortillas they'd made and their beans. And the mother was reminding Randy that tomorrow was her birthday. And to be thinking what she really wanted for her birthday. And after they did that, they got their fishing net, it's all bundled up, and they went down to the lake. The people in this village caught fish to help them with food, and they also sold fish. But when we get down to the lake, we find out that their net has holes in it. So if your net has holes in it, are you going to be able to catch lots and lots of fish with it? Probably not, but that's their only net. Okay, so they're going to see what they can do to catch fish. And Randy's friend Isabel comes in, and they decide that they are going to play and help their parents with the fish. And Isabel asks her if she's going to go to the festival that weekend. And Randy's thinking, wow, I need to get a new dress. Maybe for my birthday I'll get a new dress so I can go to the fiesta. And then they go home, and they take the fish. They have a bucket, and it's got a little bit of fish in it. And then the next day, they get up, and it is her birthday, and her mom takes her to the store. And she asks her, what does she want? So what do you see in the picture here? Mario?
A creepy doll.
A creepy doll. Christoph, what do you see? Yeah, a yellow dress. And what do you think Randy's thinking she would love to have for her birthday, Mario? I'm sorry, Ramon.
The dress.
The dress, because she wants to go to the fiesta, right? Okay, but is she secretly thinking, oh my gosh, I would really love to have that doll? Don't you think? No. I know that you guys wouldn't. So say there was a...
It reminds me of Annabelle.
Oh, it reminds you of Annabelle?
Or maybe in Chucky.
Oh, okay.
Our version of Chucky in the yellow dress.
Well, can you help me imagine that you are... Okay, so let's imagine this was a Nintendo system. And you knew you're going to have to choose between new clothes and the Nintendo system. Which one are you going to do you think you're going to end up with?
I'm going to have Nintendo.
You would love to have the Nintendo system, right?
Clothing because it can help me out in the future.
Clothing would help you out in the future. And remember, they're going to go to a fiesta next weekend, and it's a fancy thing, and she knows that she's going to need that dress. So the mother buys her the dress, and then they go across the street, and they line up with all the other women to have their hair cut. And Randy, all she can hear is the snip, snip, snip of those scissors. And she's thinking, my mom told me they would pay a fortune for my hair because it is the longest and thickest and most beautiful hair. Does she want her hair cut off? I don't think so either. So, comes time for them. The mother sits down in the chair, and look, Mom's hair only comes down to her shoulders, and the barber tells her her hair isn't long enough. And so they get up to leave, but Randy says, and her mother is ready to leave, but Randy said, no, we're going to sell my hair. So she gets in the barber chair, even though she's heard those snip, snip scissors, and she's kind of afraid of what she might look like. She makes that sacrifice. And so there she is, getting ready. And the mother is really upset because she does not want her daughter to have her hair cut off. But Randy insists. She gets up in the chair and she asks one question. Will it grow back? Does hair grow back? That was her big concern. Yes?
Is the barber make cut because it's shaggy?
Well, barbers, he could be a chef, but barbers wear white jackets too. Barber/chef. There we go. All right. And so, here is a Randy. Is she bald?
She looks like Dora.
She does look a lot like Dora. You're absolutely right. And so she looks at herself, and and she's trying to decide what she feels about it, because the hair comes down to her ears, and she still has a lot of hair. But when they leave, the mother is crying. And Randy asks her mother why she was crying. And here's the important question that you all need to hear. She thought maybe her mom was angry with Randy or sad. But Randy asks her the most important question. Mama, did they pay you enough for the nets? And I'm going to hand you that sentence at the end, because that's the really important sentence here. Mama, did they give us enough for the nets? Who was she thinking about? She was thinking about her mom and her family. If they don't have better fishing nets, they actually could starve if they can't catch fish, right? And so she wasn't thinking about the doll. She wasn't thinking about that. She was thinking about her mom and her family and how they would survive if they didn't have a good fishing net. And Mama took her by the hand and they walked home, and she assured them that they not only had enough money for the net, but they had plenty of money also to go and buy the doll. So,
Not really, because Santa. No one wants Santa.
so here, I want you to take these home with you, because this is the important question. Could you guys read that with me? Mama, did they pay you enough to buy a new net?
Mine says nothing.
Yours says nothing. You're welcome. So, what did we learn from Randy? What did she teach us?
Don't think about yourself. Think about other people.
Exactly. That's it in a nutshell. Generosity, yes.
And don't trust creepy dolls.
Don't trust. Well, I don't think the doll was just there. But the idea here is Randy didn't think just about herself. Yes, she wanted that doll, but she really wanted her mother and for their family to continue to have what they needed to live. And what I want you to understand is generosity is about thinking about other people. And we learned that lesson, and you probably talked about it in Sunday school. We learned to be generous from God. He is the original one. Jesus showed us how to be generous by all of the things. Today in the story, there was a blind man named Bartimaeus. And did Jesus say, no, go away, I don't want to talk to you?
No, he gave him his sight back.
He gave him his sight back. That is the example of generosity and caring that we need to take with us. So this sentence, I want you to think about this week. Mama, did they pay you enough to buy a new net? that was a really good question for her to ask. Okay, so I want you to think about this one and see if you can find ways this week to be generous. And notice, we haven't talked about this meaning money, right? They got money for this, but this is also doing things for people, like giving somebody a pencil if they don't have it. Yes?
They should make another book of how if they did or did not get enough money.
Well, you know what? I agree, but you know what I like about kids' books? They leave you at the end wondering what happened, but they've given you the idea that this family is going to be okay, right? Because not only they got the money for the nets, but the mother was also able to help Randy get what she wanted too. So they both learned about generosity. So I want you to look for opportunities this week to find people to be generous with, or notice if people are generous to you also. Okay? Thank you for coming. All right, you may go back. Take your sentences with you.